Okay, what we are going to start off in this video is just some introductory work to circles, really just looking at some of the vocabulary that we don't need to spend class time talking about. You guys can do this part on your own, and then next time in class, we'll finish just the last part of this lesson, and then, weather permitting, we'll go outside and do some sidewalk chalk with our circle vocabulary. So our main goal today is to be able to identify special segments and lines of circles. Some of these terms you will have seen before, some of them perhaps not. All right, let's start off with just the definition of a circle. This is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from a given point, which we call the center. This definition is quite similar to the definition of a sphere, with the exception of a circle is just on a plane. It's a two-dimensional figure. Okay, the first special segment in a circle is what we call a chord. Okay, a chord is a segment whose endpoints are on the circle. The endpoints are on the circle, and it can be anywhere on the circle. So for example, let's say we have one endpoint here, another there, endpoints A and B. That segment is a chord. A special type of chord that goes through the center is called the diameter. So if here's the center of our circle, a chord going through that is our diameter. We know from working with spheres that half the diameter is our radius. And then that center point we label usually as C. Let me show you something that is a non-example, something that is not a chord, and that would be this. This is not a chord because this is a line. A chord must be a segment. So what is this called? Well, that is what we call a secant. A secant. A secant is a line that intersects a circle in two places. Okay, so a line that intersects your circle in two places. The difference between a secant and a chord is that a secant is a line where a chord is a segment. So a non-example of a secant would be this. This is not a secant because it's a segment. Okay. You can have another example of a secant. Any sort of line that goes through your circle twice. The next type of special segment or line in a circle that we are going to talk about is what we call a tangent. Tangent. What a tangent is a line. Okay. A tangent is a line that intersects a circle one time. one time. So what that looks like is this. You'll have some point on your circle where that line touches. Okay? So let's say our tangent line is L. The point where the tangent line touches the circle is what we call the point of tangency. The point of tangency. The next type of tangent that we have is called a common internal tangent. So what we're going to do is this. The other two circles that we have, let's draw in the centers and then sketch in an imaginary segment connecting those centers. A common internal tangent is a tangent that touches both of those circles and intersects this dotted line. Okay? It's tangent to both circles. And crosses the segment that joins the centers. On the other hand, we can have a common external tangent it still touches both of your circles in one place, but this time it does not intersect that line. So think internal goes in between, external stays on the outside. Okay? All right, let's look at a couple examples and then we'll be done with this and finish this up next time. All right, the first example, or all of these examples, say, tell how many common tangents the circles have and to draw them. Label each as an internal or an external. Okay, the first example we have, these are what we call concentric circles. And what that means is they have the same center. They have the same center. Now, it is going to be impossible for me to draw any tangent that touches more than one of those circles only one time. So these circles actually have no common tangents. They have no common tangents. I can't draw any segment or line through those and only touch it one time. There are no common tangents on that one. If you look at the next example, these are what we call tangent circles. Tangent circles. And the reason why they're called tangent circles is all of those circles, and I need to kind of fill that in, all of these circles intersect at one point. We can have one external tangent right at the point where all those circles meet. That would be one common external tangent. One common external tangent. If we look at the next example, we have several types of common internal and external tangents that we can have. We can have an external tangent that touches both of those circles on the top. We have a common external tangent that touches both of those circles on the bottom. So the two blue ones are the two common external tangents. And then we have two common internal. So it touches one there, one there. And that would intersect that segment that joins the center. So there's one, but then we can go the other direction. There's the other. So those two red ones are the two common internal tangents. And then finally, for the last example, we can have a common external tangent. Ooh, that's not very good. Common external tangent along the right side of the two circles. We can have another one along here, and that's also not very good, but pretend that that line only touches that circle at one point. Those would be two common external tangents. And then we have only one common internal. That point where they touch, you can put one common internal tangent through there.